Everybody here on the live, thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Welcome to the Crypto Lifer Show, baby. Bam. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Welcome to the Crypto Lifer Show. Here we go with BTC. We're going to break down Bitcoin. We're going to look at the NASDAQ, the S&P futures, look at the entire markets really and see what's cracking, see if there's opportunity anywhere, short or long, and have some fun. Welcome to the Crypto Lifer Show. God bless each and every one of you. I am your host, Sam Price. Thank you for jumping on in and sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Without your time, we do not have a show. So you make this show amazing. God bless everybody that shows up every single day and tirelessly gives their time and energy to the show. We love you, we appreciate you, and we can't wait to see where we're going. 103,000, on the way to 103,000 subscribers and counting. Unbelievable as we head to 250,000 subs into 1 million. And I know we could do it because we've done it. We've gotten this far, past 100,000 subscribers. So shout out to everybody here. Thank you so much. I looked at the clock this morning and said, man, we did it. I couldn't have done it without each and every one of you. Let's break down Bitcoin and have some fun here today. First thing I looked at was GIGGLE, looking for it to kind of come for a stop hunt, possibly maybe a double bottom. Market's sketchy though. You know, GIGGLE ripped. I gave this flag here at 80. GIGGLE would rip to 269. Unbelievable from the entry. I gave another flag there. It gave two entries. And if you go back to like the 15 minute, it was my exact, you know, it's on the 21 in the flag with the low stochastic. It's just crazy how many times I just buy low stochastics on the 21 in a flag and it plays out. Like, everyone's like, it's simple. You don't have to be smart. Anyone can do that. Yes, I know, but not everybody does it. You get it? Everybody says everybody can do it, but not everybody can do it. You have to have years of practice. You have to know what you're looking for. You have to set it up beforehand. You have to want to see it, desire it, and make it happen. GIGGLE could, if Bitcoin gets a bounce, GIGGLE will be the first thing I believe that could rip to 487. It could also drop all the way back to 80. We are in a very, very high-risk market at this point, so you never know. But just looking at the technical analysis of the tight moving averages, you know, the last time the moving averages are this tight, I'm just looking at probability, right? Nothing more. I don't hold any GIGGLE. It doesn't matter to me what happens to GIGGLE. All right. The price action making the bears giggle. Yeah, I mean, they're happy bears. I'm going to take a shot of ginger right now. Why not? You're going to see me squirm. Whoa, spicy. Spicy, but why not, right? Get yourself going in the morning and let's put some lemon in that water. I mean, lemon and ginger. If you're starting your morning with lemon and ginger, you're going to be doing something good. You're going to be definitely helping, taking rid of those parasites that are definitely, everyone's got parasites. You're picking them up, you're petting people's dogs, you're touching things. You have no idea how many parasites you have in you right now. Very important that we're cleansing ourselves as much as possible. God bless everybody here on the live. Thank you for being here. Ooh, one thing I just realized. The lighting should be off. We got a I black it out here in the studio. Okay, so let's take a look at BTC. But first thing I did see is GIGGLE. I'm just looking at potential. You know, Zcash continues to take names and kick butt. It's out of control what's happening. When you have Arthur Hayes going on an interview telling the world he could see it going to $10,000. I mean, I don't know if he's running up along or he's about to short. I don't know what that's all about. Usually that means you need a lot of short liquidity. So, you know, a lot of people to get in and you know, but that thing could break out still and make a move like parabolically. It would move probably somewhere up to about 680. And it's crazy. Once it's hit 1,000, 10,000 isn't that far away. And then people start thinking, this has been the biggest story of cryptocurrency, really, of any coin. I mean, besides Iran, this and Iran. If you were in Zcash and Iran, you are dominating the world right now. And again, crossing the 200 moving average on the week, getting above the yellow line like we do on the 1 minute. Second that candle closed above the yellow line on the week, you had to start thinking something was brewing. Why are we back above the 200 moving average? Bots love to buy into that. I've been studying, look, on the 8-day, on the 5-day. Look, the 5-day actually showed, wow, I'll tell you something. I'm going to show you something, but that looks a lot like when Bitcoin broke out from the bear market rally of 2014 to 2015 and then into the 2017 rally. I'll show you what I'm talking about. If you go to BTC here, and we're going to jump into Bitcoin on the small time frames for sure. 1022, it's struggling in Dublin. But if we go back here to, let's say, the weekly, Just want to find out. This might not, this should have it, yeah. Right here. Again, it's not perfect, but it looks similar to this idea, you know? And Zcash, it had this rounded bottom, and then Zcash would just take off. Insane, right? You see that? And it's got a cup and a handle. See, it's always the cup and handle. I don't know why. And this is why they called me Sammy Cup and Handy for years. Feel like my nickname's starting to wear off with these altcoins. Sammy Cup and Handy, though. Like, will he prevail in the long term? And you can see that's telling you you're going up to at least, and then just, wow, the 5-day chart is out of control. Almost never seen a 5-day chart. Now, it's so far away from the 21. If it continues to pump, I mean, it's going to be a nasty dump. Like, nothing is sustainably pumps like this. The only thing I would say, unless it's such a beautiful use case, it defies the charts. Like, because I'm so open-minded for, you know, something new and amazing. Another thing here is it did a very similar flag here. And this is why I trade anytime a high or low, anytime you see price action getting constricted, with the moving averages getting tight near a high volume node. What did I just say? A high volume node. What is that? Go to here, type in VRVP, hit visible range volume profile. But yours isn't going to look like mine. Yours is going to be all chubbly wubbly. Let me show you. Your inputs are going to be at 24 by default. On the right side of the screen, pay attention here. Yours is going to look like this. See this? Please pay attention. I'm helping you right now. Stop doing whatever you're doing over there, looking at the cat or, you know, staring out the window. Get over here. Hey, get over here. Pay attention. I know you got ADHD. You want to look at, I know you have 17 tabs open. Get rid of those tabs. Look, click, 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 click. I just clicked out those tabs. I'm the only tab. Unclick those tabs. All right? The lifer is what you want to pay attention to. You want to get where you want to be. You want to do what you want to do with your life and live full of your dreams. It's not about money. It's about energy. You got to get your energy right. Everything else will follow. Your consciousness will be aligned with that frequency. You'll start thinking correctly. You'll find opportunity when you used to see there was nothing. You'll be like, how did I look at it the other way? You said, I always thought the glass was half empty. Now I see the glass was always half full the whole time. What was I thinking, right? So Zcash could go parabolic here. There is still a chance, but you're getting higher and higher into risk. Like if you chase Zcash now, you got to know that you're like, you know, you're basically walking. This is a cool idea. Trading is always walking on a tightrope. You know, when you start trading Zcash, you're definitely still on a tightrope. Bitcoin, you know, you keep going, you're going and going, but the tightrope is getting thinner. So look, if you looked at it from the top, the tightrope is doing this. And each time you're further into the trade, as it gets further away from a bigger time frame 21-day moving average, the tighter the tightrope gets. And the tighter the game is, you know what I mean? And the more likely is that you're going to fall. And you're taking more and more risk. So every time, use that metaphor for the rest of your life. Every time you're going to get into a trade, say, wow, the 4-hour looks just as good as it did last. You know, like say you see a 4-hour flag and you like it. Okay. But then just look at your daily, your 3-day, your 5-day. Look at the big ones. These three charts, the daily, the 3-day, and the 5-day. If you're very far away from the 21-day moving average, and you're like, what's the 21? I don't know how to add that. Okay, let's slow down. Type in MA. Okay. Type in MA here. Moving average simple. Click on that. It's going to add a simple moving average to your chart. But it's going to be default the 9. SMA you're looking for. Simple moving average. Click on this. Turn this into the 21. Make it white. White is easy to see, apparent. Make it an extra thickness than the default. And I got 2 of them now. I don't need that one. You see it gets a little darker because I'm doubling up, which is amazing how that actually works. You know, because that's in reality, that's what you think would happen. Well, the digital space. I layered on top of a layer. It should make it look darker. And there it does. As if I painted an extra coat on top. It's interesting, right? Funny. It's almost comical when you think about the way coding works. So, again, and then you want to start looking at the RSI, which you can clearly see is starting to flatten down, but price action's moving up. So, the sad thing is, the hype is so crazy right now, and the article that got written could really just make people act really irrational. And I could see this thing head to somewhere 700-800 maybe on a very irrational move, but that to me is unsustainable. And we'll have to come crashing down somewhere back to 500, right? Could be a really good sustainable asset over the... What I like to see about this is, this is what I want to talk about. I'm going to have to bring it up after the Bitcoin update, but let me just put a big one here, and you guys are going to have to remind me Zcash. Because this is bringing up something that I'm going to talk about, that I'm having an epiphany about, but it's important. We want to talk about you want to hear what I got to say. I'm holding it. It's a gem of gems. And you're like, what is he going to say? But trust me, it makes sense. It's a beautiful story. I just got to get there later on, and we will. So let's get back into BTC. And I'm going to look at, and so, yeah, I mean, you're starting to think, look, shoulder, head, right shoulder, bearish divergence. I would not be chasing Zcash. However, if you watch it pump to 800, it's okay. It's like watching the last bit erupt. Like, the key was to be it here when we started giving it at 250. I even started talking about it down here. The trading group's been in it since like 140, 180. We've been watching Zcash for a long time. I even put out Zcash. If you look at in my group, which is amazing, type in Zcash. I mean, 11.3 on the radar, right? I'm showing you it there at 400 anyway. That's that, but we were doing it. We got Badri, all my other traders showing it to you. He's looking for the dip. I'm talking about it there at 341 inside the flag. We saw here, we were watching this flag the whole time. You see, as it that was the entry there, 188. Then I gave it again, and then I watched this flag just continue to play out. Right? And we've been trading Zcash. Look, and you can see my first post, which is insane, right? There's 1011. We're giving it there again at the 288. And my first ever post, really, 11/18, no, not my first, but 11/18 of 2024, back at $44. I mean, that's a 10x there. Yes, it took a year, but dang, that's cryptocurrency. You see, you never know which one's going to hit. 11/10 at $46. I mean, showing you that Zcash is on the way. Something was brewing for Zcash even back in the day. $26, I'm giving it to you back in March of 2024. It's just nuts, right? The cup and handle. Insane. Anyway, in the trading group, you're going to learn so much. If you want to be around people that learn and just do amazing things with their life, jump on in. You'll absolutely love it. And Microsoft, man, I don't know what gave you guys this idea that it was cool to have the screens default move around whenever I'm just touching the back of something. Anyway, so here we go. BTC. All right, let's break down Bitcoin from the ground up. It's at a 102.6 right now. Just took a little bit of a dip. What is happening to Bitcoin? Even if I told you I knew and I was a spot on 10 times in a row, which I've been spot on. There's no guarantees. So we got to go one day at a time. We got to stay open-minded. It's very hard to do what we're going to attempt to do for the next few weeks. A lot of people are going to be overly bearish. A lot of people are going to be overly bullish. And it's going to affect their trades. There's that guy in the suit. Oh, yeah, you saw the tweet, right? So funny. Don't listen to my fancy technical analysis. We just run game across the internet. Everybody wants to work with the lifer because they like the professionalism. Flying to Lisbon next week to chop up with some of the most exclusive people in the world. Head of TikTok marketing, Nick Tran, some big people, man. I'm going to be sitting down with some people that run these programs that we all use every day, these apps, right? Sitting down on lunches and dinners, chopping it up, finding ways to break bread and market together. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be an amazing time. If you're out there in Portugal, I will see you. I leave in a month. I leave in a week. So stay blessed, stay amazing. Keep your head up. All right. This does look like an Adam and Eve double top, does it not? I would say so. And it felt like it already broke the neckline, right? Adam and Eves don't have to be the way they are usually. And we've gone over this many times, if you've been on my channel, right? It's not like this is... And I've talked about this being... And, it basically did a bearish retest. Exactly like my mentor taught me to buy the retests. He told me the retests are the greatest places to enter trades. He said everyone will fall in. Then it will come back up because the retest will be your guide. A beautiful thing about a retest, let me teach you. This is amazing. Watch this. I've seen this, I'd say 500 times. You'll get a rising wedge, okay? The rising wedge will consist of a shoulder, the head. The right shoulder will be the bearish retest. See, just like this. I've seen this so many times. It's very similar to a falling wedge. You'll see the head, you'll see the right shoulder here will be the bullish retest off the top of the channel. Remember this. Take a picture of this like in your mind. Rebuild this. If you can capture this idea, wait for it to happen and capitalize on it. See, the thing is, trading is not doing it when you feel. Trading is waiting for it to be perfect. I'm in Portugal. Blessings from Portugal to all the lifers. God bless you, brother. Cascais is a beautiful place. Yeah, Rocket Man is the type of guy to wear a life jacket while mopping the floor, man. Rocket Man, yo. Oh, man, Vegas. So to me, bearish retest for sure of the trend line. Let's make a bigger trend line. Let's get rid of the moving averages here. Bitcoin is on this trajectory, correct? That's still the trend, right? I mean, no one can deny that's not the trend. You could say, no, the trend got more exotic. And that is spider line-esque, right? And then you can got this spider line here. This is a significant spider line, actually. Let's see if we can fit this in. Yeah, right about there makes sense. Because look, you got this bump, resistance, fall through. So if you lose 96.8, you're going to drop down to 67,000, 75,000. You see, because of this spider line is, you know, you can see that, right? Let's take away the other lines for a second. Let's zoom in on this and make this bigger for the team. Thank you. I'm talking to myself. There's nobody doing that but me. So, okay, so look, I mean, we're at resistance here, 123.8, right? So I'm looking at something interesting here. That is a bit of a, you know, we call these spider lines. Elongated, diagonal. They're kind of, what they are is they're time-based fibs with fib circles entrenched inside of Fibonacci levels, right? And what they do, you'll see, because if you did all in the... Anyway, long story. Hey, Lifer, are you going to be in Lisbon? Yes. I'll be in Lisbon, my friend, next week for 4 days throughout the weekend. Thursday to Monday. I'll be in Lisbon. I can't wait to see you, man. And honestly, my last 2 trips were like insane. Like 16-hour flight to Dubai. And the other one was I was in the air for a 14-hour flight and an 8-hour flight. So I was in the air for what? 22 hours. You know what I mean? And this flight's just a quick 8 hours, man. It feels like I'll be there in Tuesday. Like that's a nap and a couple movies and a couple posts on my Discord and I'm there. You know? Yeah, breaking news. President Trump is scheduled to make a significant announcement for the Oval Office today at 11 a.m. Could be huge for XRP. Interesting. 11 a.m. President Trump comes to speak. Okay. Bitcoin falling short here to the downside on the smaller time frames. I have to be honest. I'm overly bearish right now unless we can get back above like 105, 108,000. There's some key levels, but I am pretty much looking for the move down. Right. I even kind of moved some money around and even tethered up since October 10th. And when I tether up, it's technically shorting the market. If I believe the prices are going down and I go into, you know, a stable, that's shorting the market. Like, I mean, I don't always short the market like most people, but what I do is I get out at the right times, I buy on the lows, right? And I maneuver myself, and then I attempt to either buy in or wait a long period of time. If I see it's a bear market, I begin to DCA for an 18-month period on things that I think are proper and worth it patiently, right? And if I get confirmation of a bear market, like we lose this, the 4-day 200 moving average on Solana, that's going to tell me a significant thing about the rest of the market. And I'll show you that later on too. Okay. So this is a key spider line. Once you drop this line, I mean, you can see 86,000, 75,000 starts to get really likely. 69,000 looks very likely. You know what I mean? It's okay, everybody, to get a pullback. I remember saying, if you watch my channel, I said, if this isn't the beginning of a bear market, it'd be the first time I've ever seen bear div on the monthly You know, moving averages far apart. Like, you know, the 21 is very far from the 200. We like to get in here. We like to start getting out around here. It just is what it is. It's what I teach. Every time the 21's been away, we've had issues. So stop listening to everyone that's telling you, you know, it's going to be the biggest November ever. Maybe it is. I'm not saying, you know, we'll get the signals in the charts. The charts, and again, it might, you'd be like, no, it happened so fast. And I agree. There'll be some moves that you won't be able to scoop unless you're, so let me explain again. All right. Why is trading so hard? Trading is hard because of this one reason. If we do reverse, we'll reverse probably in the middle of the night or so fast that most people won't be able to buy the dip. And then we'll be here. But what I do is instead, so the old me would watch price action and just attempt to hit these bottoms and get a lot of anxiety over price action coming down here. I'm like, oh, I gotta hit the bottom. And then I'd throw like $4 to $5 grand at the bottom, looking to make it into 15 grand. Like, I got a 3x now and ride that wave up. You know, yes, I have access to more capital now, which has changed the way I trade. Right? So now instead of putting 5 in there, I'll wait for price action to come up, do that bullish retest. You know, give me a double bottom, get above a 200 with the 21, make a flag, and then I'm chucking in 15 to 20. And all I need is 15, 20 to 30, 50, 60% or something. You know what I mean? Like, give me anywhere between 4 and 8 grand in a couple days, and let me snatch that. And then I could move on from there. You see what I'm saying? And then, well, fine, the coin goes to 5. I find the next flag it rides, ride that up for chunks. If I take 10 here, 5 here, 7 here, that means I take 80, 90 grand out the coin. I could do that to a bunch of different coins. So I stopped stressing having to buy the absolute bottom and started realizing I'll just swing trade at the right time. Now, how do you buy the bottom then? If you really like a project, you start DCAing, and anytime you see a deep red. But like right now, you start, like I bought 10 grand with the Bitcoin the other day, right? I dang well know that's the beginning of some long-term DCA then. You know, I'm open-minded to the fact that we're going to go lower. And I'm ready. And I'm going to start allocating as the fear gets worse. The fear gets to 15, I mean, right? Did we bottom at 23? There's a chance I bought some there because I felt like we had to. You see, whenever the fear gets that high, I had to take a shot, so I did. You're never going to know when the bottom is for sure, even a guy like me. Even though I called out this bottom, I was pretty 80 to 90. I was about 90% sure that this was your bottom. And there was a lot of reasons for it, though, based off years of data. This looks, I mean, this looks exactly like a top. Every top I've ever seen. Look, I'll show you every top. If you want, I'll go through every top. Does anyone here? Let me ask the chat, because does anyone want me to show you every top, like 10 tops? I could pick out 10 projects, assets, and show you what the top looks like. And I'll show you how much similar it looks like right now. All right. So if you're not ready for the fact that we could go through a couple 18-month bear market and make a lot of money, like there's going to be beautiful opportunity. Remember, billionaires are made in the bear market. Millionaires are made in the bull market. The money for Bitcoin was made down here. So look, everyone jumped out. It got depressing right here. Everybody left the market, but the lifers didn't. I went live every single day. We called the bottom. We went on a run of runs. It's been a journey, right? If you've been with me since January of 2023, we've went on a massive run. It'll be January of 2026 soon. It was a 3-year run, babe. We went on a 3-year bull run. Like 3 years straight of an asset just continuing to rip. I think that's a blessing, right? I mean, you tell me. So I think we got to start being realistic too as well. Now we're in a channel. Could we bust up to the top? There's a chance. I'm going to show you all the bullish and bearish scenarios here, but right now I feel like you got to remain a little more bearish in the big. You can scalp small time frames. You can do what you want. Like I was looking at a flag here on the 1 hour this morning. But the overall, when the daily's below the 200, that means the trend on the overall market has changed. That's what the 200 moving average is telling you. Like when we went below here, we were in the most downtrend. Once we got above the 200, look, that means we had made a higher high. I told everyone here on the 5-day chart that you could buy above this 200 and probably never look back. That was a $35,000 BTC, right? So again, I never sell Bitcoin. I look at how many Bitcoins I accumulate over time. and have a 10-year plan for when they are. But like, I was actually really realistic with myself yesterday on the live stream. And we came to terms that like Bitcoin's not getting to the $1 million levels that everyone says it's getting as soon as they say it is. If we realistically look at the charts, where is the money coming from? We took trillions of dollars out of the world markets in the last 3 years. I mean, once they print money, there'll be more. Look, we're about to go down to 101,009. I got to get into the smaller time frame for a second here. Let's take a look. Let me take a look at my week's account there. Yeah, so we've got a flag. It's hovering on resistance, right? Hold on one second. Let me get to the trading view. Even the bot too. I'm looking at the bot. I'm like, because being below the daily 200 moving average, you got to be smarter than your bots. Know when to fold them, know when to hold them, right? Know when to walk away, know when to run, right? When you've crossed the daily 200, now again, it's created beautiful opportunities in the past, but that's as you're building. Remember, this is what I've learned too. At this point, the weekly moving averages weren't as far apart. The weekly moving averages weren't as far apart. Let's do something for you here too, and we'll talk about the weekly moving averages. Because some days I can sit there and teach you bigger time frame things. They're going to overall help you see the markets better. And other days I could just live trade the small time frames, right? But both things are poignantly poised. So like here, you can see the weekly moving averages are very close together. So that was a great buy because not only the weekly moving averages together, so were the daily, and the weekly was right near the 200 moving average, right? Sorry, that's total 3, but it's going to probably look exactly the same. Excuse me for doing that. So again, see, they're further apart, but they're not, you know what I mean? And even here, they're very tight. Now here, they're starting to get further. Here, they're very far apart. So, and look, you have a death cross coming on the daily. So I see things for what they are. I try not to candy coat it. This is different than these last little dips to me. If they fake me out this time, so be it. I'll get bullish again if we close above the 200 moving average. Again, I showed you this head and shoulder. I gave you the trade Monday morning. I told you the head short is the highest probability trade. Let's play the video if we have to, just to kind of like, I just want to show people if you did join the $99 trading group, $99 a month, or if you paid in for the year anytime, or if you had jumped on in and you had been with us throughout this time. Oh my God, look, I typed in mom and it said, got to spend the afternoon with my mom and wife and kids. It's one of the last times I would be with my mom. She would pass away that November. Man, I love you, Mom. I won't cry, man. I promise myself, you know, I'll stay strong. But, man, I love my mom. She was so cool. She was my best friend. We were tight. We were tight. She passed in November. I think November is like the month where, you know, I got to be disciplined and control myself, which I will. So here we go. You know, the daily doesn't look good to me. When you're below a 200 moving average on the daily, yikes. So it tells me we could see way more downside for altcoins. And people say, but how? They're so demoralized. This is it. This has to be the end of the dip. I'll be honest, I call this dip here, I call this dip here, I call that dip. I called a lot of the dips. Why? Because we were above the 200 moving average. So it was, you know what I mean? So I love reversals above the 200. That's when we can get it. But when you're below the 200, it's the other way around now. Now it's better off to remain bearish and be proved wrong and get back on the horse if we go back the other way. Because the probabilities are now against you. You see, look, that's an inverted head and shoulder, right? We play that all the time. It's clear as day. I mean, and that hasn't finished its move. It's honestly just begun. $83,000 BTC. So I just see more downside for Bitcoin. I hate to be honest with you, but I don't see a huge recovery like I used to. And I'm the guy that calls the reversal. So for me, I think it's better off. Again, the short that I called at 107.7 there. Let's talk about it. Let me go find that video. I'm going to find that moment in time here. Sean, everything okay? Okay, yeah. I just saw a message from you. Wanted to make sure that we're spot on. And we still make a live trade here. We're not done. I want to make that clear. Okay. But the market looks sketchy to me. Last night we had a little bit of a move, but... And again, I would never sell spot Bitcoin over time. But October 10th, the day of that dump, I started tethering up. I said, man, the market... Bitcoin was tethering too much with 200 moving averages. And I started being like, this doesn't look good, right? So I'm going to waste time looking for this video. Here we go, right? It was 9 a.m. in the morning. Turn that off. Anyway, I'll get it up in a second. I just wanted to show you how to read the market properly by not being, why we have to make sure that we see things exactly for what they are, right? So the head short to me said it was the most likely scenario. Remember, we went over this idea. We said, so check this out. Deal, the 15-minute cannot lose the 200 moving average. We needed to get back above it. We actually had that monthly 108,300 test here. But even the 3-day looks like a shoulder head and a right shoulder with a bearish engulfing candle. We talked about that. The 5 hours bearish. And then the daily looking bearish today below the 200 moving average. We did wick back to the upside, but you have to, now you got resistance. All right, let's break down Bitcoin. So, short into the abyss somewhere, 95, 96, anywhere down in there. Broke the neckline of the head and shoulder. We'll definitely, and now you have some levels. I got two of myself playing now. I don't know where it is. $96,000. So if we don't go to 96, I'll be very surprised. The breakdown has commenced, but you never know. I hit the button. Open-minded. Shut me up somewhere. Possible reversals like I always do. I'm the serial reversal finder. So if it's there, but even there, look, you had the bullish down, and you couldn't even get back above the previous resistance. See, that's shut it down. I don't know where that is, and I can't find that. You flip this upside down. Oh my god! On the moving averages, and that's a bull. It's not this video, that we would trade to the upside. So everything is gonna flip the way we used to trade. Come on, we can just act like we're getting a bullish move, right? And then this is just So all right. Basically, you're getting Bitcoin dumping right now. Hold on 1 second. But upside down, right? So this suggests that we're going to be dumping to the downside, kind of shoulder, head, right shoulder, descending triangle. So I see more downside for BTC. Definitely looks like this short would play out. Monday morning, right? So there you go. And it's not like a 3-to-1 unless we get put our stop right above that, which you could get taken out. But I like this idea here. This looks like the most likely scenario. We're going to break down somewhere to 99,000 to 100K. That's exactly what happened. It has all the liquidity there too. Oh man, I'm playing it and I can't find it. So yeah, I don't mean to be super bearish, but I don't know where this is. I got to show you. I got 7 screens. Whatever. Calm down. Dear Lord, help me find this, man. So you got to think, what are you going to do? Right. I can't. Usually you could see what screen's playing. Is definitely coming. It looks like for Bitcoin, says the charts. Just like we could tell when more upside was coming, said the charts, right? So I got YouTube Studio here. We got to look at them and then take them for what they are, right? So this is nuts. It is what it is. I have no idea what app. I got 6 screens. I still don't know where that came from to this day. But you could hear it. As I said, like entering a short right now is the most likely scenario, right? Because you're going to ride the head and shoulder to the downside. If they rip it right back up, you at least, hey, they go against, probability. Probability is that this will break down. It's a head and shoulder pattern, 68% chance. We trade them the other way. It's an inverted. See? Lost the 200 moving average. Everything that I go over, that's bearish. So my system says that we basically have to open up a head short. Yep. You know, or we just wait for the models every day. But see, so the system said to short the market. That was given in the trading group. I just want to make it, you know, Monday morning at 8 a.m., 3 days ago. 128 people saw that. It's kind of sad when you have thousands of people in the trading group. It shows lack of responsibility. There's money there to be made. Anyway, it is what it is. I can't force people to do the right thing. What I can do is teach you how to grind every single day and show up every day. And if that helps us get where we're going, so be it, right? So anyway, that was a beautiful call in the market, and so far that can stay open. Like I almost see no reason to adjust that. I mean, buying at the target was great, selling at the target is great too, but I just don't see the bulls stepping out of nowhere and changing the scenario. I see more downside, and Bookmap also suggests that we are going further to the downside. All right, so that's just what I see happening. Bookmap headed down to 97,500 for BTC. Right. So a bounce there at 100,359, And Bitcoin completely collapsing to the downside now, getting that dip, that dizzy dip, right? Let's bring down the music for a second. So let's head back to so right here, your next support is 92,000. Once you get through all this chop, back to 92K. That's just what's likely going to happen, right? I mean, you can see that. You have a chunk of support there at 98.8, and you've tested it once, but as I've told you, now you're kind of dealing with the 2-day 200 moving average. That could hold us. There's a chance this hold us. There's a chance that we reverse it. Everyone says, oh. But as I told you, it doesn't look the same as before. All right? This does look more like how a bear market begins. I've studied this stuff on multiple assets throughout the world. This is how they look. So whether we want to believe it or not, it is what it is. And we can go kind of from there, right? Shout out to everybody here. Let's get the likes up to the watches. For whatever reason, we lost like 300 people when I decided I couldn't find that video. People just signed off. That's what happens, right? And isn't that funny? That's how on point I have to be. I have to be on point. Never miss what I'm saying. Go 2 hours straight without a mistake. That was like the worst mistake I've made since I've live streamed in years. And look, it cost me a lot of people on the live. That's how hard my life is. Like the second I miss, I get beat down for it. The second I make a mistake, I have to eat it so hard, it's insane. Like I get no breaks, nobody cares because the public doesn't care. I'm out here in public. Remember, nobody cares about your tears, man. I just want to make that clear. Like we got to keep grinding every single day. Nobody cares. So your saving grace, if you're an extreme perma bull and you just can't see this go down, we are technically still at a bit of a double bottom here because we've bounced off this area there at a 101.2. So there's still some support at 101.2. Once you lose that, though, I can see the chunk to 96. Then we go to 91. And then, a pretty nasty collapse down to 84,000 looks more and more likely for BTC. And as we showed you before, like we're losing key levels. So there you go. The 2-day chart is your saving grace, kind of like back to the daily. But the daily doesn't look good to me. Like I talked about, it looks like the daily may be making a bear flag that will continue lower. Remember, the daily's away from the 21. Just like price action pumps, it has to kind of come back to the 21 before our next big move. So I would be watching the daily time frame. I wouldn't be surprised if we go sideways for the next couple of days. And then we start to dump Saturday, right? Back to, possibly to $91,000. So I'm looking for this to bear flag and continue lower. That's what it looks like is most likely going to happen. Bookmap also suggests that we have liquidity in the areas that I'm looking at, 97.5, and then further to the downside. So I don't mean to be a perma bear as we go out on Skyfall right now, but I don't mean to be a perma bear. And I'm not a perma bear. I just want you to know that I love Bitcoin. I'm going to DCA my way on down. But I know what head and shoulders are. And I've told my students that these break down 68% of the time. And I said, if I was going to cross a street, inside the trading group, when I teach the class, I say, if I was going to cross a street and you told me that 68% of the time I was going to get hit by a car, I would never cross that street. You see what I'm saying? Why would I risk my life 68% of the time? So if I was going to risk my money like I risk my life, because my money does help me, and it's not my life, I don't, but it's a part of my life. And you tell me that I'm going to lose it 68% of the time if I long this pattern, I'm not longing these patterns. I'm not a fool. I do what the math tells me I should do. Anyone that tells you patterns don't work is oblivious to what's happening in the charts. And I don't believe you should repeat or, let your mind even take in another part of their vibrational energy. Another head and shoulder right here. We went over all this. As I showed you, I played the video, describing the head short to the downside and calling the move there on Monday morning. And it could have gotten even earlier. Some people started the shorts way earlier. But as long, my whole point is there was money to be made here. Right? And today we talked about the 1 hour, which was in a flag, but didn't look amazing. And even last night I said, this is a long, but it's a 6 out of 10. I said, we don't have a lot of, it's not hot. You got to know when the charts are telling you what's going on. The charts are telling you every day what's happening. They're whispering to you. It's not easy. I didn't just wake up overnight and see bear flags in my sleep and know exactly, And I still tell myself I have no idea what's going to happen. If I tell myself I know for sure we're going to dump, then I'm not going to overly analyze in the morning. But if I tell myself I don't know, I'm going to put in a lot of work. Look at the moving averages. Look at all the things in my life and say, you know what? That's, And again, that looks bearish to me. As we're touching the 21 on the 4-hour time frame, that doesn't look good to me. Could we bounce out of nowhere back up here? We could. And remember, trading is tight right now because the volume is also low. So that's another thing. Back above 102. And so you could see this kind of drag around here. I see some sideways chop before it figures out what it's kind of do. Not really my favorite move. Thursdays aren't my favorite days to trade. I'll trade them till 2 p.m., but usually they're not my favorite. I like Monday nights. I like Monday nights, Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, Tuesday, Wednesday during the day. There's my favorite days to trade. I'll trade any day if it shows me there's a move, and so look, the 15-minute also below the 200 moving average, right? And then I peep the 5 and the 1 because I look at them every day. And look, there's kind of a shoulder, head, right shoulder there. It's kind of a shoulder, head, right shoulder there below the 200 moving average. Some descending triangle type of vibe. Looks like we could, I don't see anything I'm loving. We're up, there was the model, but it was a fake out. We did get a nice move there. We, fine, 108. We played that. We got the pump. I took some money out of that move, right? And I sold. But the rest of it doesn't look good to me. We were watching the 15-minute today, and this flag, I said, it's got to stay above the 200. I said one of two things. This flag will break out today. I said it will make kind of like a head and shoulder and dump. And I said, I'm more favoring the dump, but you never know. Let's see if the flag could do its thing. So that was what I was watching today. That's kind of the update I gave. And I could see them kind of, playing around. So I see chop price action today. I don't see, a beautiful pump back to the upside, an inverted head and shoulder. I mean, it's possible. There's cup and handle vibes here. They could have just been grabbing liquidity, but it's light. You can feel the volume is light. Don't overswim in treachery waters. So yeah, again, there's still opportunity. Like Zeke, there's still opportunity pulling people into the market. We got altcoins doing some serious damage throughout the last few days. It's been insane. All the privacy coins ripping. And then one of the privacy coins uses ZK Snark technology, right? ZK technology. So ZK Sync starts to pump. You see what I'm saying? Zcash, right? Z stands for that ZK, right? I believe ZK started pumping as well. Yeah, look at that. ZK. That is in a bit of an uptrend as well, as you can see. Could, again, so the high risk thing is to buy this buy right here. Thinking, but if Bitcoin collapses, this dumps back down here. That's going to right shoulder down. If Bitcoin somehow stays and the market gets a breather, then somehow this comes back up. And then there's a chance to buy it here and take it parabolic. But it's patience. And sometimes you miss it. Sometimes it just rips from here and you don't get this consolidation. That's okay. You don't always have to get what you're looking for. But if you set 100 traps like this and set alerts all over the market, if I work for 5 hours one day and I go over as many setups as I can with the knowledge that I've already prevailed, and I keep going and going, and then I set it, and then when the alerts hit, I realistically look at them all, and then I go through those and I take, and that's a lot of work. I might go through 500 assets. I might find 100 setups. I might fine tune 50, and I might only get, 25 alerts. And of those 25, I might only take a couple. I might take none. I've done that a few times where I've worked my butt off for hours, days even, and I've taken no trades. But what I do know is that when I do take the trade, there's going to be so much knowledge and probability behind it because of the time that I took to put it together and to prepare it. So you do you. You either take the time and put in the work, or you try to shortcut it like most people do. And you'll see the results. Today, Jim Rohn, I listened to him while I worked out today. I hope you worked out and got your mind clear, sweated out those toxins, got yourself on a new level, hydrated with the water. And Jim Rohn talked about how compounding, we live in a compound universe where everything you do compounds. Every single thing you do, every good habit compounds, every bad habit compounds. Eating one donut does not make you fat, agreed? But eating donuts over time, year after year, and not working out makes you fat. It's not about what we do once. It's about what we do over and over again. People want to become successful. They like all these beautiful, successful things. They want to make it to the upside, right? And what happens? It takes one day. They think it's this big explosion. You know, they see like Tom Brady throw a touchdown in the Super Bowl. Oh my gosh. But they don't see the years in the gym that he did. All the times he didn't get picked. The times he was sidelined, as Drew Bledsoe had to get hit that time for him to step up. And then he had to make it happen. He had a couple chances. Had he messed up there at the beginning, he never would have maybe got another chance like that for years again. He had a chance right then to make it happen when he got put in as the backup that day against the Jets, I believe. Mo Lewis hit Drew Bledsoe, and he got like a spleen injury, if I remember correctly, right? Something in the like internal bleeding. And boom, a career was made, right? It gives you chills, really. So everyone sees the guy winning and all the accolades, but they don't see the time in the dark. What people that lose don't realize is that winners have lost as many times as them, even more. They've endured more pain than anyone who's lost. A winner is someone who's endured more pain and somehow pushed through anyway. That's what a winner is. So I see Bitcoin going sideways. I see a daily bear flag beginning to form. You know, unless you can kind of invert, I'll hang on to some, like we can invert head and shoulder. And even then, like you don't really want to go open big longs until you get back above the daily 200. And some people are like, oh, but you're going to miss the pump from 102 to 110. I mean, this is treachery. This is where they're going to wreck tons of people. These are areas where you kind of want to avoid. You know what I'm saying? Like here, is this consolidated? I wanted to trade this right here to the upside and get these little maybe, and I took my models when I saw them. But if you tried the long big time here, like they went up, down, up, down, up, down, right? Here was the time where they've already, so what it is the humble trader could wait patiently for this entry. How many people are humble and patient? Way less people, right? 90% of the people aren't in the market. So less people are humble and patient. We can all agree with that. So if you get into the humble and patient entry, which isn't as big as a move, right? They all want to call the exact bottom. The point is, I've learned let them chop out everyone else whose emotions are uncontrollable. You stay poised and ready for what you know is hot. The 21-day moving average touching to price. When it's closer or touching, you have the idea that the eruption is very close. The eruption happens near the 21. Boom. Near the 21. Boom. Near the 21 here. Boom. It does not happen when you're away from the 21. Okay? Here you are far away from the 21. You dumping. You're far away from the 21. You're dumping. You're far away from the 21. You're dumping. You're far away from the 21 here. You are dumping back to the 21-day moving average. Here, you're coming close to it. And you're forming a flag. What happens? Boom. Here, you're coming close to it, forming a flag. Boom. Here, you're away from it. Dump. Here you're close to it, forming a bit of a flag. Boom. Here you're away from it. You make an M pattern. Dump. This pattern repeats. Here you're close to it in a flag. Big money. Here you get away from it. Dump. Away from it. Dump. That was that 15-minute fake out flag. I remember that, and then went more sideways. Anyway, so this is why I use the 21-day moving average in conjunction with with flags and patterns because it creates that epic move. This is why now the next big trade is likely the bear flag on the daily. This is what I do the other way around, right? We wait for this. This is like the most bullish sign. And look, we can front run a death cross. There's the 50 coming for the 200. Looks like we're going to get a death cross somewhere here. Death crosses usually mean in 2 weeks, you are about this further down the line. So it says we should be around 91,000 somewhere by the Thanksgiving. All right, that's what it's telling me is likely going to happen here to BTC and the rest of the market. Again, I could be horribly wrong. This may reverse and we may have the most big pump in December and everyone will call me insane. You know, the great thing about me is if we get back above the 200, that's when I'll start looking bullish and I'll say, okay, you know, the probabilities didn't play out. Now we, you know, and the crazy thing is if they come up a little bit and then break it back down a little bit, that's where my system will be pretty weak. They could get me there because then I'll have to kind of flip bullish again and then they could, you know, but I could easily just use smaller time frames to scalp, keeping me away from bigger losses, taking what I can. And then if we get a really solidified flag where the 21 crosses, then the odds are going to be way better. We're going to break back to the upside. You see? I'm upside down right now. I just want to make, you know what I mean? We would break up. So I believe, based on years of doing this, that the most likely scenario is a bear flag to the downside for Bitcoin. Yeah, that's what the charts are conveying to me. 4 to 5 more days of sideways price action and a dump, or maybe even a dump earlier than that if we watch the smaller time frames. And it's even telling me the target, it's somewhere at about 90K. And that would bring down your altcoin Solana back to, you know, 130, 120. Below the 200 is when I kind of, I'm done. I'm out for a while. You get back above the 200. Look, like here, we got back above the 200. We made a flag, the 21. I was bullish again. Again, I don't sell all my Bitcoin holdings. I don't go run and sell all my Bitcoin. I have dollar cost average for years. My average is pretty at a good place. You know, I'm hedging against the fact that they will print money for the next 10 years. But remember, nothing is the answer but you and your energy and your ability to push every single day. That is the answer. You are your answer. Stop looking outside for anything else. You create it. I also used to look for the investor who was going to invest in my company. Someone was going to save me. Every year I thought someone was going to come in, swoop in, and just, you know, hand me that 200 grand to help me start that business or help me get started. It never came, folks. I never got it. I wasn't good at raising money. My ideas weren't hot. People didn't listen. But I heard a whisper one day when I was alone and frustrated after a business meeting that didn't go perfect, when I was looking for an investor yet again. And it said, like, it's going to come from you. Like, you don't need anybody else. Like, it'll come from within. And I remember looking at my wife and I said, God spoke to me in a way. And he's saying that you're going to make your money from within. Somehow, some way, it's going to come from the very sweat of your hand. Right? You can create a fortune from the sweat of your hand. I'm telling you right now, I know every fortune ever made came from the man's energy that started it, not from anything else. Maybe investments came, maybe people believed, but they only did that because his energy created the vibration that started the flow. And people began to buy in, you know, to his belief system and his idea, like great architects, you know, Carnegie Steel, like people that really made something of themselves. So I see chop. The only way I would like look for maybe a hot long today is if we get above maybe the 30-minute 200. Get above the 30-minute, make a flag somewhere at 107.8. Funny, it is pretty far though. We could get a. See, that's what's interesting. There's a lot of just open space here, or we could drastically move up pretty fast. So I know I paint a bearish picture. That's what I'm seeing. Get us back above the daily 200. I'll start looking for longs again on a bigger scale. But until then, all these little pumps to me are just kind of like, I don't know, cash grabs to get people excited. And it's not a substantial move just yet. So yeah, maybe we bounce back up to the top of the channel, 1015. The measured move, I'm just showing you, not saying it's happening for sure, would take you to that resistance high volume node at 107.7. Back to where we started that short. My system is telling me, like it said we were going to go down, something like this is going to happen. And not to get too excited about any of these. And to prepare for a bigger trade on the daily time frame, the 12-hour time frame. And get ready to make that move down to 91K. So, yeah. And price action will begin to redistribute back to the downside. So that's kind of what I see happening. And yes, I know we're having the Zcash rally and all that other stuff too. And that might suck people in yet again. But just be careful, as we already kind of went over Zcash and talked about how it's at the high risk areas, right? So what am I doing? Well, I tethered up. Now I can look for short trades and take the right short trades at the right time. That's it. And I'm not going to DCA into altcoins. I'm going to look to see kind of what this market really does. If we get back above the daily 200 moving average on the daily, I've kept certain altcoins, but I definitely, redistributed some of my money, and I bought BT, and I'll focus on buying BTC. Bitcoin is the main asset I acquire. XRP, Solana, a little Chainlink, and then I'm speculating on everything else as far as I'm concerned. And again, I'm not a financial advisor. These are just things that I'm doing. You can do whatever makes you happy. This is just a joy of mine. I'm passionate about trading, looking at different aspects of the game. I'm always here every day. I love it. I can't get enough. If I could stop, I would, but the speculative game is interesting to me. We could have a massive bear market take advantage, So that's what I'm seeing. You want to short the market? You could short it beautifully here at BTCC. And if you gain a big old position and you sell off, you'll have a pretty big amount of volume. The bigger the volume, the cooler the things that you could receive. So check it out. Vision Pro, Rolex, Model 3, all that stuff. BTCC, right? Again, you're not even entered into a pool. These are just the volumes you got to hit. They've been around since 2015, too. One of the oldest exchanges in the game. So that stands for something. And I don't think they've ever had any downtime either. Like, no issues. Running smooth. Good liquidity, no problems. Sat down with the CEO actually when I was in Singapore. Great guy, good people. And, dude's the man. So, yeah. I know these people. I've seen them. I've met them. I've traveled around the world. It's an amazing world we live in. The passports getting stamped, seeing people. That Singapore was an amazing experience. Being that far away, like when you look at the map, I was like the furthest I could be from my home, really, on the globe. I think that's the longest trip you could take, really, like Miami all the way to Singapore, because you could go almost either way. Insane. Tightness here on the BTCC chart, and you're kind of at resistance and support. Yeah, I'd be looking to short a bigger flag. I'd be staying off the smaller time frames right now, as far as I'm concerned. I don't see, we're choppy. My system tells me when to chill and when not to chill, and it is bearish. We have lost the 200 moving average on the 30-minute there at 109.9. Like, we've been falling since the 2nd of November there. So a little bit of a recovery, and I still can't believe we topped out. Look at that, October 28th at 116. I remember we sold that top. Remember on the stream? Do you remember that, guys and girls? Sold that top at 116. I wrote it up, and that was it too. It's crazy. Just by raising the stop loss and taking the biggest moves of the day, you look back and you're like, well, that was the top, because that's how the top would look like, right? So be careful. And this may not fly. This could even dump earlier than that. May right shoulder to the downside. So look, we're front running a daily death cross that we see clearly coming. You can see that the 50 is coming for the 200. You already got a pre-death crosses when the 21 crosses. You have all the signs of a bigger move down. I don't know what else to tell you. We trade this bullishly all the time, everyone. This is the same stuff we trade to the upside. Look, we crossed the 200. We touched the 21. You know what I mean? We crossed the 200, like right there. You're bullish there, so how are you not bears there? It's Alice in Wonderland. It's the same thing. Both ways. Like, we move all the other stuff and we flip this upside down. It's like when you lose the 200, you dump. When you regain it, you pump. This is usually the beginning of, that's exactly how the bull market ends and exactly how it begins. And remember when I teach you too, is you're getting the higher high, lower low right there. That's when you decide, oh no. You get the last higher low right there at 115, 116. And that was basically the high. To change this flow now, you got to come up here and retest. Like a really intelligent trader who's been in the market for a long time would not enter along till we retested 116 or maybe 116 and maybe, right here. You would look for a reversal pump and a retest. And that would also be like a Fibonacci retracement. Somewhere back into this area. Someone who's been around the block would not long until we broke the shoulders here, because that is the resistance on your trend. So the market has spoke to me. It looks pretty obvious that we are going lower, and the likelihood is to cover. And I did that, and people call it panic selling, and they say all sorts of stuff. But like, if you just trade the probabilities, you're going to be okay. And I trade the probabilities. If I see something that's super bearish, I'm not going to sit there and hold longs and watch my entire portfolio go down the tubes. It's just not. It's not a good look. So I see 97.5. It's the closest red. And that looks likely. It doesn't mean it's happening today. But, I definitely see weakness in the market. So so let's talk about where I would cover price action. Well, I'd like to trade it on the 12-hour or the 22. I'd like to wait for the 21 to touch price action. So I'm waiting for the 21 to come in. I like my stop above that point of control, 108. And see if we can get all the way down there to 90,800, right? So this would be the trade. But again, I would wait for this. We could accumulate at the top of this range and add to the short in there. And again, you have to be okay with the fact that they rip it. And we're wrong. And somehow Bitcoin goes into a bull market and everything is okay. Anything is possible as a trader. You have to understand that. Trading in the zone will teach you these thoughts. If you don't understand these concepts, please listen to the audiobook of Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. That's going to be free on YouTube. Okay? That's going to blow your mind. Every time you're struggling, I would go back to those tapes too. I'd play them while I drive. If you have a 45-minute drive, type that in on YouTube and play it. Use your time wisely. If you're a busy father like me, I got softball later on today. I have a weekly screen share tonight with the trading group. I've got a lot going on. I've got a meeting in the day. I'm going to be on Sin City Crypto later on today at 1:45. So with all that coming on us, you got to schedule your time wisely and use it to your advantage. When you have a moment, listen to what's good. Don't waste it listening to garbage, scrolling through, Instagram. They're sucking your days away. So yes, I'm seeing a bear flag here begin to form for Bitcoin. And we do this all the time, just waiting for the 21 to come on in. And look, there's a death cross there already on the 22-hour. You had a death cross on the 22-hour time frame. And that's the longest, biggest one we've seen. Like this one was pretty small. And actually, this was pretty big correction. This was a very large correction. But the weekly was still somewhat intact here. That's the difference, of the moving averages on the bigger time frames. Started to make sense to me. I'm seeing things so clearly now, right? So I would expect to bounce maybe back to 103.8 and all this, you know what I mean? I'd love to see this flag out. This takes patience. Watching this flag play out and not just kind of watching it it takes a lot of patience. A lot of people want to jump in the short right now. Second it starts to turn red, they get these emotions. Oh, I got to make the money, And look, it'll bounce and they'll get wrecked possibly. I've seen so much price action, I'm able to set what I see and wait for it to happen. I know that's a luxury of mine. But I put years to figure that out, right? My brain can see things and I don't have to get antsy. So yeah, I think that to me looks like the most likely scenario for BTC. All right. And so with that being on Bitcoin, let's take a look at some other indicators that can show us what's happening. Bitcoin dominance. It pumps for two reasons. It pumps when altcoins are dumping and people were just, they don't, you know what I mean? They get out of altcoin. Like the other, I sold altcoins, but what did I do? I bought BTC, you know? So not with all of it. I'm just, you know what I mean? With a port. So the whole point is, this. Bitcoin dominance is going to rise if you see trouble in the market, but it's going to rise with Tether dominance. Remember, if you watch my macro analysis video on Friday, okay, it looked at Tether dominance didn't look too good. It told us that something was brewing in the market. And I said, man, we got to watch that. I said, that looks like it's going to make a right shoulder and pump. I said, if Tether dominance pumps, that means Bitcoin's in trouble. You know, that's not something that you want to see happening. So let's take a look at that idea here. So look, if I just stop and you really want to learn this is very important to your trading career in cryptocurrency. So we go to Tether dominance here, right? We look at this too, because you want to see if Bitcoin dominance is pumping and Tether dominance is pumping, it means people are running out of altcoins and rushing into Bitcoin for safety and Tether for safety, right? So they're in bearish times. But if Bitcoin's pumping and Tether dominance is dumping, it's a bullish sign. It says, wow, you know, people want, they want to get into altcoins. You know, you want to see Bitcoin dominance dump and Tether dominance dump together, because that means people are in altcoins. If Bitcoin's strong, you're going to see Bitcoin dominance pump, but Tether dominance will dump. You see? So right now we're looking for Tether dominance to form an M pattern here and dump below the 200. Right now it's actually kind of bullish on the 3-day. You can see even on the daily, it's touching the 21 above the 200, which is a bullish sign. So this is another thing. It's kind of a sketchy idea here. Like, what if we get a tightness here and this breaks out? That would say that Bitcoin's taking a tumble, right? Why would people be rushing into Tether? So right now, Tether is kind of, it's sketching me out a little bit because it looks a little more bullish than it should. I'd like this to make an M. See, that told us that Bitcoin was going to take a dump, everybody. It was right there. It was right there. This macro analysis video I put out every week, if you're missing it, it's really, I harp on this stuff because I see so many people getting wrecked, so many people not understanding how to trade, so many people that don't have the knowledge. And look, it made the right shoulder. It did pump. It did exactly what we looked at it doing. You know, it did exactly that. And I trade the 21 above the 200. It's crazy once you have your system. Like, I love the system. I use it, right? This will bug you out. And this is kind of the dynamic. This is a beautiful dynamic of trading that I want to talk about. Oh my God. What the heck, Sam? This is the beautiful dynamic of trading as I blasted you to the moon. You'll find your system. You'll trade it. In a bullish time, you'll keep trading it. You'll trading it. Then go find the counter asset and see that it has your bullish system. But you don't want the market to, you want the market to keep going. You're euphoric. You want to be in euphoria. You know what I'm saying? You're not ready to see the market take a dump. So you're like, but it's doing what you always long. So at this point, this is how you can become a great short trader. So I have a beautiful system, right? It tells me when to long. It works very well. They call me Sammy Cup and Handy for a reason. Let's go over it. Because the cup and handles, there's a cup, there's the handle. The cup and handle is your guide to life. It's the way out every single time. Sammy Cup and Handy to the upside, right? And so boom, tight moving averages, tight flag. It gives us the move to 6.2%. And that means people are tethering up like you read about. And this is the beginning of a bearish time, folks. Bitcoin's actually imploding as we speak to 101,600, 101,500 right now to the downside, right? So this told us we saw the right shoulder before it happened. My system says if the 21's above the 200 and you're in a flag, you're likely going to the upside. So if Tether dominance is telling you that, it's leading to the idea that Bitcoin is struggling. All right. And look, this bear flag might be lower. It might come all the way down here first, you know. But I see the daily consolidating into a bearish flag. I've said it 100 times now. It's pretty obvious what's happening. If it reverses and goes back up, I will eat it. I'll come back out and say I was wrong. But the odds are very, very high that I am not wrong. The odds are very, very, very high that this, I don't want to say I am because, you know, but the odds are very high that the system I choose to trade is telling me what to do with high probability, and it's going to guide me properly. I've trusted the system for a long time. It's been awesome. I use moving averages, stochastics, RSI, and more to kind of, find out the probabilities, and it's telling me that the probabilities were low. It told me Monday morning to short the market at 107.7, and there, you're still in profits on that short if you're in, right? Could put the stop loss to break even, and that's just that's just a trade that just rides. So again, if someone were to have the education to figure out how to use technical analysis to short the market, they'd be in the money right now. It is what it is. Very interesting times to be alive. We're going to watch this. Let's take a look at the S&P futures and the NASDAQ as well. Right? And this is clear as day to me what we're doing. Right? You don't need a lot of indicators here. You can see there's a death cross coming for Bitcoin. The 50 crossing the 200 moving average. And it's just one of them days. Okay? 97.5 is the likely culprit for a move to the downside. I see no reason to get out of that head short at that right shoulder. This right shoulder was a beautiful short too. The tweezer top's there at 115. This tweezer top, the high was, I got off the plane, but that was a beautiful short too. It's, again, the wick down twice to not take profits on that short. I probably would have got out again, because then you could have got in here. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, it's some people hold forever. I don't know. They do whatever they want. I don't never analyze another man's really trading style, because it's not yours. So what does it matter? I mean, analyze it to learn. But like, if something doesn't make sense to you and you don't do it, that doesn't mean, it's like everyone trades differently. Everyone gets stuck in a pocket of mental habits. I have my own mental habits that I trade with, that I use. And, it's good to know them. That daily is too far for the 21. We need to catch up to it. But the trend is now not your friend. I mean, you got a low, a high, a low, lower low, a lower high, and a lower low. The next high is going to be a lower low. Like maybe we go something like this. But it's obvious to me that we got to flush out these late longs. I think too many people threw into this wick, as I told everybody. Too many people threw into this wick. I watched it. I remember watching it. After the wick happened, I remember seeing everyone like, oh, we'll be at one, and we got this pump. And then they were all in the money here. A lot of people got in the money. I mean, that's a nice move. And they were like, oh, we'll be at all-time highs before you know it. This was nothing. And Bitcoin made a right shoulder. And I said, I don't know, man. I just trust the TA. That's a head and shoulder pattern. I don't know what else. And then it made another head and shoulder. So for me, like, I don't, because it's crazy. If you listen to to what people are saying online, you'll start to be like, oh, my head and shoulder, that's just, yeah, that head and shoulder is going to play out. We're definitely going to pump. Trump's going to come out and say everything great about crypto. And this is all going to work out. I tell you, man, it took me probably 8 years to start knowing that my TA was stronger than what I read online. And that's why I don't even read stuff online anymore, because it's just a waste of time. The sad thing about all this is, in the dump for Bitcoin, Zcash has gone on a 10x. GIGGLE just went on some absolute astronomical pumps. And they made it very hard to catch those things, because like the market was pretty sketchy, but people definitely made money. So I'm still like, wow, there's opportunity here. But only to the people that have like shooken out the, got Bitcoin off their plate, understand that it is what it is, and got ready to kind of, focus on something different. Bitcoin's a long-term play now. It's a 5 to 10 year play. You got to play it like institutions. You can't look for returns tomorrow, in my humble opinion. For me, I don't advise people on any of this stuff. I'm just a guy online. This is a reality TV show of my life. Every single day. It's also to see how many days can I keep this streak alive, right? I want to know. We've been live streaming since February of 2021 without a day off. We want to see how long we can keep the streak alive. So today was a great day for teaching. I mean, I learned a lot about my own system. It's telling me what's likely going to happen. We went over how the Discord would have definitely showed you what was likely going to go down, and how the updates every single day would have kept you calm, cool, and collected, and possibly in the win. So for $99 a month, you can basically jump on in and listen every single day, get the updates, and get the education. Learn about moving averages. Learn about the VRVP. Learn about support and resistance. Understand how to find bullish and bearish confluence. What's the difference? What's divergence? How to find divergence? How to believe in this stuff? What's the difference in trend? What's a trend analysis? What happens when you change trend? Right? And all these beautiful things that come with technical analysis. Yeah. So we've done a deep dive in Bitcoin today like we do every day. We spent a good amount of time on BTC. Let's take a look at total 2. The entire market cap of all the altcoins excluding Bitcoin. And again, below the daily 200 moving average, but hugging the 2-day. And it's almost interesting. Like, could Bitcoin go sideways, and could altcoins go on a bull market now? That'd be funny. If we get alt season now, and that's the end of it. It's like we end with alt season. It doesn't make any sense, but it would be interesting, right? So total 2 is hanging on the 200 moving average. A lot of times, to me, that's a very interesting place to be. I'm so overly bearish at times. I'm like, wait, that could be just the signal right there, right? It's previous support, which is resistance. Because look, you got resistance, 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 resistance. You came back to that area. $1.26 trillion. I mean, you have a lot of money in altcoins that just aren't going to move. People are willing to go all the way to zero. I mean, that is not good at reading TA. Below the daily 200 moving averages usually. So like if this could make the bear flag too and then continue lower. And then that will likely break the 2-day 200. And you'll head down to the 3-day 200 moving average and then to the 4-day. Which Solana is already at the 4-day. Solana has front run that already. Solana has bounced off the 4-day 200 moving average. That's just that, So the way I would watch and look, that curvature, is there a death cross coming? It's not as, it could bend. So you're basically, if you're an altcoin holder, you're praying that this 2-day 200 moving average holds you down and somehow saves you like a baby in a blanket getting caught by a pelican. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, whoa. So there's a lot. It's staying in your altcoins right now. You have guts of steel. And honestly, for me, it's either a 4 to 5 year hold now that you're willing to go through. Because if it doesn't bounce, the odds are definitely against us a bit there. So here, I mean, that's kind of how altcoins are looking right now. They're a do or die moment. And they've been there they didn't take out the wicks like Bitcoin did. You see that? Let's take a look at Ethereum BTC just to see how Ethereum is against Bitcoin right now. ETH was doing so well against Bitcoin. It went on that beautiful tear, right? But then if they both collapse together, then they both kind of fall off. I mean, there's support here at what? The 2-day 200 moving average. Actually, the daily. That's very interesting, isn't it? ETH Bitcoin right at the daily 200, which is a very strong support zone, especially after coming up. And look, that's a Fibonacci retracement. From that impulse there down basically very close to the 618 Fibonacci retracement. And you're getting tight. So you never know, right? So what you're looking for is a possible inverted here. These are your hopium copiums, everyone. Otherwise, this like makes the same bear flag and just continues down somewhere here. And then we go into this like, I don't know, multi-year bear market for Ethereum. And the high for ETH was literally, 0.04 or 4,800 was it? I believe it was 4,800. 49,960, almost 5,000. It's pretty sweet. And now it's all the way back to 32. That was August. So the time to sell Ethereum was literally August. Isn't that crazy? Like it peaked. And it did look pretty sketchy on the bigger time frames. So it basically double topped. Isn't that weird? I'm open-minded, but I mean, I read the charts, man. And so it tells me that like crypto, it almost seems like this time was an experiment. And whatever happened, so far the experiment isn't going the way as planned. Trump has already spoken. Anyone know what Trump said? Let me jump on into the chat here. What did Trump say, anybody? Okay, let's see here. Thank you, Sam, for your calm thoughtfulness. Your mentoring style is helping so many people. God bless you, man. Thank you. Oh, this is just a tough time to be here, man. The bot tried to buy the bottom. Yeah. The amount of money that the market makers made this year is absolutely insane. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. ETH clearly double top, cooked. In hindsight, everything looks clear, but in the moment, the FOMO kicks in. I think there's going to be an expected move to the upside at some point when everyone else is bearish. Only institutional and long-term holders are left. Everyone keeps saying that. Yeah. He's not out yet. Who, Trump or who? Bitcoin will close today on 100K and tomorrow, after tomorrow, bounce to 105. Bullish divergence ahead. This guy's calling a move. He's saying what's going to happen. Who knows? I'm open-minded. ICP, Zen, Tau, and WTI. Trump says he watches Lifer daily. I don't. I heard something about big harm getting there. Yeah. Trump hasn't spoken, somebody says. Thank you. Zcash was far away from the 21. I know. Someone says, tell us about Bitcoin on the smaller time frames. No, they don't look good. You're likely to get chopped. If anything, they're bearish. Someone says, massive pump incoming. Of course, NYC is no longer a Western city or state. So weird. Let's take a look. That's what somebody said. I'm just reading the comments. Fear and greed is at 27. That's, yeah. And it kind of bounced off 23. Seems like we may have to come into the teens for some real max pain. Everyone thinks they've seen max pain. You haven't seen max pain yet. Max pain is max pain. Like, it is what it is. And, yeah, I've been through max pain so many times, it doesn't even matter anymore, right? So, currently, it's a Senate debate on the show. Yeah. I just remembered last bear market. Hang on. This time is different. If you invert the charts, this is the ultimate bear trap, everybody says. I don't know. The odds say no. The probability says no way. Unfortunately, this doesn't know about your 200-day line on the chart. LOL. Max Pain is holding for 69 to 16K. That's Max Pain. Yeah. Okay, many alts are much lower than they were in 2021 at this point. I think a lot could disappear this bear market. Yeah, I think a lot of these coins are going to be gone forever. Yeah. I bet Trump was a helmet in the... Oh, my gosh. Bear markets are brutal for altcoins, yes. What's the longest you've seen the Fear and Greed Index be under 25? A long time. I mean, we can look at the chart right now and break that down for you. Like in the last year. So look, it went here, went to 50, went all the way down to 10, came up to 34. Right there, it hit 24, and then look, it had to move to 18 coming. Like, look, there it hit 29, came back up to 37, back to 23. Up, that looks like a kind of a shoulder, head, shoulder in a way, right? I feel like we may have to come back down. The thing is, we are pretty close to max fear, so I don't know how much lower Bitcoin can go. You know what I mean? Like 90K, and then we dip down to 79.80. We're going to be at like 9, and usually we don't go much lower than 9, But I preserve capital. I decided enough was enough. You do what makes you happy. I can't force you to see what the market's telling me. You do whatever makes you happy, right? You're going to do it anyway. Definitely expecting max pain or gain. Just buying the dip or bear market, 24 years young. Where would you short Zcash? I can go wherever the hell it wants to. OG's been selling. They deserve it. Opportunity knocks. 100%. People that have been in the market for a long, long time started taking some profits out of BTC. It just makes sense. Someone says 92, 93, then bounce. I don't know. To me, I don't see that, honestly, right now. You have to understand, everyone's thinking we're going to bounce like we did before. Before, you were in an uptrend, so all the dips were bouncing. You're in a downtrend now. So now your dips are either going to consolidate or just slightly bounce. It's not, you got to read the trend, my friends. I'm not trying to be the bearer of bears. I don't want to be looked at as a bear. I want to be looked at as an analyst. But right now, the analyzation is telling us that it's no-go. It's a no-go. Strength only comes through adversity. Amen. You push through like you build weight, like you lift weights and you get bigger muscles, right? Same thing with your mind. How are you going to get through the toughest times? You're going to lift through these times. You're going to push yourself. Can you stay positive no matter what happens here? That's really the answer. Someone says AIA ripping. Let's take a look at AIA. Yeah, it's funny. I looked at DGen AI. It's funny. I looked at it, remember, like somewhere up in there. Went from $151 to $5. And it was on my radar. I like the name, like DGen AI. You're like, very high risk, obviously. I don't own any, unfortunately, as it went on a tear for the last 12 hours, all the way from $144 to $7. That's just nuts. Unsustainable. And look, there's my system right there on the 3-minute. It's giving you like a flag touching the 21, right? And you got low stochastics when you take a look at that, like right there. And then it tells you the measured move is the weird length of that pole from the last consolidation. And then look, it makes what's called a rising wedge. So look, it makes a rising wedge. It breaks up. It retests the top of that wedge, which is support and resistance there, and then it rips again. Now you'd have to assume it's likely going to like make some symmetrical triangle. And then roll over, right? Back to the 200 moving average there. And you'd pull a Fibonacci from that impulse and look for it to head somewhere back down to 455, right? No pants, AI ripped to the downside. Most people can't see the bearishness because so bullish, so eager to see the pump that most forget the trend. Sam, you are so calm and composed. Much love, man. You truly are a good mentor. Yeah, because you got to see it for what it is, man. I've been here so many times before. And, yeah. May you please do TA on GALA, please. God bless you, Sam. GALA's in the dumps, man. Sam watches BTC Gold on the weekly. Head and shoulders. No, it doesn't promise anything good. Hey, Sam, I always follow you from Italy. You're number one. Shout out to you, man. God bless you. Thank you. Got so many awesome people that come out the woodwork, man, from around the world. Thank you so much, man. May God bless you and yours. And remember, everyone, you guys make this happen. So look, every coin is in the low. It's lower than it's been. Look, GALA's lower than it's ever been. Lower than it's ever been. It's never been this low. You know what I mean? So if you believe it, either you believe. I think a lot of this stuff was narrative driven, and we're going to find out what really had a use case and what really didn't. Looks like the alt season is here, but only for certain types of coins. Exactly. There's like 4 or 5 coins that you could trade. Hey, we knew them. We knew them. We went over Zcash. We went over all that. I was showing you guys privacy coins were pumping a couple days ago. I believe I put it here. If you watch this, I just write in privacy. Whoa, that scared me. You scared me, honey. It came out? Are you okay? Oh, you got your caps on? Do they feel funny? They hurt?
No. Yes.
Are you okay? They taste yucky, right? Will that go away? Are they always going to taste yucky?
Do you see the metal?
Yeah.
No, the taste is going to go away.
You sure?
Yes.
I'm live streaming. Like, you're acting like I don't have a life. Sam, you made this bull run the best. Thank you. Hey, man, we did what we had to do. We bought the lows. We stashed it. I know you want to keep them separate, but I appreciate the history you were going in on the other channel, especially about FLL. Thank you, man. Weirdo bro telling you this thing is not looking pretty. Yeah. Bitcoin going further down. Yeah, it is, man. It's about to crack 100,000. I don't know what to tell you, friends. All right? And don't get pissed at me because I sold a bunch of coins and I stashed hundreds of thousands of dollars before the market took a dump on October 10th. It's not my fault. Okay? Don't blame me. All right? I don't have to short it all, but I could definitely get out before it look at this. Look at it. Would you look at it? It's looking absolutely horrible now. All the way to the downside. Trading is trading, friends. There's money to be made either way. That daily flag is going to do something cool. And look, there's the dump there from 104. We've been dumping for the last 16 hours to the downside. I told you with that 15-minute loss to 200, that was your last chance to long. And I said it looked 6 to 10 last night. I said a 6 out of 10 on this trade. I don't even like it. Looks absolutely horrible. Exactly. AERO sometimes someone has to hold the bag, unfortunately. As long as you've lived well, make it through. Exactly. Anybody got news on Gemini Exchange being shut down? No, I've never heard of that. How do I get the different moving averages to look like that? Go to here. Type in 5MA. Okay. And hit 5MA by Inlander. Or actually, no, CBC. Hit the CBC 5MA DRS by Deepak R. Sabu. All right. In memory of my lovely mentor who has since passed. He was very young, in his 50s, when he passed. Bitcoin taking an absolute dump to the downside here. And again, losing like the 200 moving average on the 5, losing the 200 on the 1. I don't trade long below the 200 moving average on the 1 hour. No way. On the 1 minute. That tells me we're going to dump. Friends. It is what it is. Okay? Don't hold it, sell it, let it crash. Me and Mr. Buffett can buy the bottom. Sam, should I apply for McDonald's or Burger King? I like Wendy's. Yeah, and I'd like the employee discount. You got to give it to me when I show up. Don't tell anyone you saw me there either. All right? That's the deal we'll make. But yeah, Wendy's, please. Love those Wendy's burgers, man. I haven't had a Wendy's burger when I was like 25, even 28, 29. I lived up near Queens Boulevard. There was a Wendy's there on 43rd Street there. Probably still there. In Sunnyside, Queens. Has anyone here ever been to the Wendy's in Sunnyside, Queens? On 43rd Street or 42nd, something there. You know, it's right there. 43rd Ave, 42nd, 43rd Street. Anyone here on the stream, it would be funny to find out. Anyone here ever been to that exact Wendy's? It's next to the 7 train on Queens Boulevard. Anybody? Sam, did you sell your soul at Chainlink? I sold my soul, baby. Sold it all, baby. Let's take a look at Solana here and see what's happening. Someone said, yep. You use the 21 of the 50 and the 200 only. Is that a reason for it? It works amazingly. I grew up in Bayside, Whitestone. Amazing. Look at that. I've been to that Wendy's. Look at this, yo. This is crazy. 2 people have been to that Wendy's. What are the odds? Like, way better than that BK across the street. Yeah, there is a BK. It's not like across the street, but there's Lance, man. I love you, man. Oh, Lance, bro. I love you. I can't wait to see you, man. So I'm leaving the day you get back, but I'm only gone for 4 days. I'll be back, man. Yeah, Five Guys is the Willy Wonka of burger making. Oh, man, they really are, though. A Five Guys burger is banging. I'm definitely, you know. Oh, yeah. So I look at Solana, and again, below the daily 200 moving average. And you can see a death cross coming as well. So, like, I see a bear flag for a lot of these coins. And that tells me that we're going to be able to scoop them up at bear market lows, right? So, yes, I took profits on Solana. And I took profits of $48,000. So there you go, you know. Hey, that's half of what some people make a year right there. That's the salary of some people in the United States, man. So thank you, dear Lord, for the win. I sold Solana for a win, man, around the $150 region. So, hey, I did what I had to do. And maybe it pumps. Maybe it's the worst sell I've ever had. Maybe it bounces off this 4-day 200 moving average. And I wish I never did. But if it consolidates and gets tight, what I looked at it was this. I said, listen, even if it makes it out alive here, and we get this miraculous bounce, Bitcoin saves the day, and something happens. I was like, I see it consolidating. And I said, it doesn't say it's going to break out till May of 2026. Unless it just rips out of nowhere here and goes on a tear, which could happen. Maybe I'll lose, you know. But again, I do what I got to do. And I'm not afraid to admit what I do. Good morning, Sam. Was let go from my day job on Monday, so it's been a week. Luckily up 10K on the month trading Bitcoin so far. You, Master Friend, the Lifers, and the Reavers helped me develop the skills to make an uncertain life event not be so scary. Stay blessed. All right, I'm going to give you some pointers here, all right? I lost my job, too, and I had to deal with trading and losing my job. A lot of pressure was put on me, and I put a lot more pressure on myself to trade. What you got to do right now, what I did, was I looked at all my expenses and where I was, and I slowly extrapolated things that I knew I didn't need. I said, what, and I got really simple with my life. I went to Costco's. I did get a Costco's, membership, but I went to Costco's. And again, this is that bear flag on the 4 hour, you see? And you could see this could be a half M pattern. Try to make sense of this, see that? And then an M pattern breaks to the downside. I've seen these now. They don't always show the whole M. You could go to $95,000 today, folks, today. Remember, shorting, just put a stop loss on the other side of the 200 moving average on like the 5 minute, the 3 minute. If you lose it and see what you can get on the slice, right? Yeah, so there's going to be more pressure on you, 100%. It's going to be, if you live with your wife or your girlfriend and they know you pay a lot of the bills, it's going to be some pressure there. There's just going to be a little bit of pressure now when it comes to your trading, and it's going to affect you 100%, okay? You don't have that income coming in anymore from the job. You also don't have the distraction now from the job. There's twofold things going on here. You got what you always desired. You sent super chats here. You always talked about how much you love trading. And look what happened. It got put in your lap. But now it's time for you to survive. This is when it's going to make or break you, my friend. I've been through it. Not everybody makes it through this, but I believe you have the skills and the ability to get through it because you're a crypto lifer. And we've helped you develop those skills. You've developed them yourself. You had a calling to come to my trading group. You had a calling to be with us. All right? Yeah, wife is tenured, so it helps. So you're in a good spot, man. I remember when I went to trade for a living, my wife didn't work for years. I was the only breadwinner. And I developed what I did, and I did my things, and I invested, and eventually she did get a job as a school teacher. We decided she could work because she raised my daughter till she was 3, which we still regret now. We keep our kids at home now, but it is what it is. And yeah, this looks very bearish. Now what I see happen here was it was a slanted descending. You see, there it was right there. There was the descending triangle. That's going down to 99. A lot of people thought we were reversing. I know I'm a king of calling reversals, man. I'm really good at it. I could tell and what I also saw was on, this is what's telling me to be sketchy out. Let me show you. This is what you have to pay attention to. The volume. Volume is what rides the market. It's how we move. It's how we continue to pump. The last rally, what I noticed was on the daily. Let me show you the last rally. How you could tell the last rally was over before it was over, it was very simple. And there was this fake recovery rally. Whatever happened there, we don't know. And again, you did lose the daily 200 MA for a while here. But let's see how the weekly looked at that point. The weekly was still, I don't know, the weekly was somewhat far apart. Interesting, I'm open-minded, but ICP don't care if Bitcoin dumps. That's crazy. That's where I'm at. 9 to 5 gone, and it's full-time trading now. Failure is not an option. Zcash's dumping was in a long and got stopped out. I think everything's going to go down right now. I would be careful right now. Yeah. Like and subscribe now. Be blessed that you are in the best YouTube channel. Supercharge your life with the 99 and start your new journey of success. Thank you so much. And look at this guy. You lose your job and give $50 to the channel, brother. God bless you, man. That will come back to you tenfold. Tenfold. What about the bot? What's the liquidity level? When do you switch it? I might just cut off the bot. Honestly, I actually have to talk with the dude tomorrow to kind of go over what I see happening, because this is a bigger move down, in my humble opinion. And the bot won't know how to get itself out. It will just think it can keep buying if it can't see the bottom. So you got to know how to control your bots too as well. Very important. Nothing is guaranteed in life. You got to be in command. I mean, that's a bear flag to the downside. That target takes you to 92.8. Extreme move down here today for Bitcoin. And really solidifying that, like, this, what's happened has happened. And remember, every time you go much lower, it's that much harder to get back to the upside. One closed door will open many others. Flip the chart and play it to the downside. Exactly. That's what you do. Well, I'm looking for the bigger short on the daily, which is going to come. It's going to come. This is going to flag out at one point, and it's going to continue higher. Daily moves take longer. Like this flag took a lot longer. It took days, a couple weeks. Yeah. We'll capitalize on this at the right time. Look, there's the flag. We could have traded this flag above the 200 on the 30-minute there. But I just see chop right now. I know what I'm doing. I know exactly what my plan is here. It's this. I'm going for this. Again, that aggressive entry was amazing there, but it was aggressive because you didn't know. I'm looking for probabilities, man. That makes sense. 89K for BTC. So I see lower lows for Bitcoin. I see lower lows for BTC. I do. Every pump is a gift to the bears. Yep. Short the pumps. Easy traders. Trades today. Yeah. We can be optimistic, but also realistic. Biddy can go to 88K. That's what I'm seeing. 100%. Sam, I lost 15K in that dump, and I never felt so good about losing. The reason is your channel, your mindset, and the teachings got me out of self-pity and took matters in my hand. Rising strong. Yeah, you know what? Losing money's great. You know how many people will never lose money? People will, someone that, that never goes after their true dreams and lives a life. They might make, who knows, smaller, they'll definitely be in the smaller earning percentage. And you think they're ever going to lose $1 million in a market? Unlikely. Losing, again, it's not amazing, but it means that you're going after something. As crazy as it sounds. Again, you know what I mean? So 408 watching. Let's hit the like button. Shout out to everybody here. Hit that like button. Let's get it moving. Yeah. I wish I sold the top. I didn't make anything this bull run. Unfortunately, I can only be upset with myself. Hopefully, the next few years will be better for my pocket. Hey, man, cycles are tough, and they're not easy. All right? It's all about taking something off the table. All right? Sometimes you don't take it all. Yeah. This is a year. Trading is going to take years. This isn't something that's going to happen overnight. It's going to take years. Okay? It's a long, long process. Is Bitcoin sales flowing into certain altcoins now? Someone says ICP don't care. Let's take a look at ICP. Look at that beautiful bounce for Bitcoin, huh? Unreal. It did a double bottom. It bounced so nice. That's why I would see if someone shorted immediately, I wouldn't be shorting the smaller time frames. We want to see things play out on the bigger time frames. The 4 hour, the daily, right? And for me, it's just, these are all opportunities. Red days are opportunities to stash BTC. That's all. My wife picked out my outfit today. What do you think? How did she do? You guys got to rate her. On a 1 to 10, how did my wife do on the outfit today? How did she do? She picked out everything. She picked out the shirt, the tie. I said the tie's a little, but when you go here and you look, this color and this color do match pretty much exactly. All right. Shout out to my wife. Yeah. Bit of a double bottom there for Bitcoin, see? So look here. I'm not saying to short that. That's my daily short, right? I just want to make that clear because, I'll put something on the daily, but we'll zoom into a smaller time frame and it'll look like I'm calling that, but that's not what I'm doing. This is ugly, wuggly. Yeah, I just want a nice little bear flag here. Bear flag me up, baby. Bear flag me up, or this thing is just in total despair here. That's a chance. That's a descender like that. Let me go to another chart because I got a lot of lines now. It's going to get a little too much. Let's take a look here on Coinbase. BTC, USDT. Shout out to all my streamers out there that are sticking through the tough times. This is going to separate the men from the boys. So I got a lot of kids that are started a YouTube channel or said join my Discord, all this stuff, and they can't handle this. I have to be honest. They can't. They weren't ready for this. They don't know what's happening. This is tough business. All right. I'll just say we're probably upside down, which we are, yeah. So let me go to that 4 hour. So you're either double bottoming here, or you're making this like bigger descending triangle, you see? That's a descending triangle. People can't see it. It's harder to see. You flip it upside down, you're like, oh yeah, it is. And it's riding the 21 on the 4-hour time frame. And you can see that that is your, I mean, we might not, this might dump before that. We might get the dump even earlier than that. Wow, this is bearish. This looks like the move's going to be a lot faster than we realize. Wow, this is crazy, huh? So there's the trade right there. Honestly, that's the trade for Bitcoin. I might have to, and I almost, now I feel like, damn, the 21 touch on that. There it is. If I flipped it upside down, I would have seen it a little like this. Yeah, there's the trade. And you can see it's a parabolic move. The parabola is starting to form. 87,000 is my target for BTC. So that's it. I mean, oh, and I got it upside down. Let me grab the right tool, the short tool. And the stop's got to be somewhere at like 105 to 178. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at. It could double bottom there. I'd like to see it consolidate a little more, but dang, that's bear city to me for Bitcoin. That's a bear flag. I see it now. It took me a second. I'm sorry. Takes me a second. And then I even see the head and shoulder pattern. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. That's going to dump to the downside as well. So that looks like a big dump for me to the downside for BTC. It definitely does. Yeah. Yeah. Might be the long entry ever at that target. That would flush anyone using even low leverage like 5x. Yeah. When they're always dump harder than the grind bang up. There's a psychological to that, I guess. Chicken little on the way down and tiptoe in. Yeah. Shorting is too obvious right now. No, I disagree. You just trade the probabilities, my friend. You're in your head. See, that's you talking to yourself again. I wouldn't do that. I could say the same thing to myself. Shorting is too obvious. Okay. You're on the 21 above the 200. I showed you how that played out on almost every asset in the world. Right here was a beautiful flag too. It's like, dang, that was it right there. See, now I'm seeing it clearly. Now I'm looking at it like it's bullish. Like now my mind's starting to see it. I'm like, yeah, there's the move. It could snipe us out. That could happen. That's why I'm always like, eh. But that looks bearish to me for sure. I don't see how that doesn't collapse. 1 minute is attempting some type of reversal pattern, but it's weak sauce. It's very weak. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I like what I'm seeing here on the 4-hour time frame. 100%. That's your little bull flag there. Yeah, so look, I'm going to set up the trade here. I'm looking at it on weeks. I'm also looking at it here on MEXC. Because that looks like a good opportunity. That's good probability there. It just is. You got to trade the probabilities. Okay? And that looks like it's going somewhere to 83K. That would be the next bigger move. So remember, I'm using the short tool upside down. This is how I trade. So look, I could stay below support or resistance. Resistance there. I keep my my stop is right here, see? So the trade would be a short trade. And let me see here. I flip short to long. No, you just you just opened it. So I'd be going for 84,118. And I'd be looking for the, the stop loss to be at 106,958. I understood there, yeah. And what's weird is like Mexi used to show me all this right now. All of a sudden it's changing. I don't know what's happening. I got to talk to Mexi. I'm like, what happened there? Right? So if I'm short, my take profit's going to be 118. And my stop, I'm going to put at 106,958, right? That would be 9 for 20, 9 for 27. All right, that's definitely not what we're going to be doing. The liquidation is going to be above the stop, okay? And that's going to be, again, and then you just got to type them in again. That's going to be $4,000 for 12 grand. Makes more sense to me, right? I'd like it to come down here first, though. I'd like to be able to get like 103, you see? I'd like it to come back to the bottom of the pattern first. Right in here. I'd like to get in 3 times. So here, let me look at it again. And then, let's see what I'm doing. I'm just pushing that digit. Yeah, so 1,400 for $4,000. All right. And I'd like to do that 3 times. So I am beginning to short the market here for Bitcoin. It's looking like what I got to do. You guys do whatever makes you happy. I'm not telling you what to do with your life. I'm just showing you what's happening. Mexi changing. Now you have to click. Yeah, I got to tell them they got to change that back, man. That was my favorite feature on Mexi. You know, it's my favorite feature. Like now you got to hit advanced and it slows you down a little bit too. But I'll talk to them next weekend. What lever to use for the short trade? I believe it was 13x leverage right there. It's about a 24,000. I'd like to turn it into a $100,000 position. If I can get it in there 4 times, that would be the key. And again, I'm just doing what I always do. This is my system. It tells me to hit the 21 above the 200, and you're above the smooth moving average. These are both telling me that the probability is very likely that we're going to make some gains on that short. But again, you never know. I'd like it to come all the way back to 103 and probably be underwater on this short first. And then I'd like to add to it there. We'll see. It could double top. I could be wrong. I could easily get stopped out. All right. I could easily get stopped out. Let's take a look at the super chats here. It's been a long stream. All right. We've had a lot to go over. It looks like ICP is about to do a dash in ZK. It's a beautiful sight to see. Thank you. Let's take a look at ICP. There's that guy in the suit. God bless, master friend. I love you, man. Mr. Sammy, I love what you did with Palantir, and I hope to see more stock calls on BTCC. Shout out to the Stack Exchange and the Rave Song Records. Jaden, God bless you, man. Thank you. Yeah, that Palantir, both those trades played out. Hey, Sam, check Zen, please. Similar narrative. I like Zcash. Starts with a Z. I know we've been looking at Zen all the time. All right, so we got to look at ICP and see if it's really going to catch that fire here. Let's take a look at ICP Internet Computer on Mexi. Wow, it is booming to the upside. I looked at it to make a flag there. It just didn't even kind of give us that grace, right? It just continued. I gave you the grace on the 1 minute, on the 1 hour. So it made the flag on the 1 hour and then just decided to rip. I mean, it is right now in a rising wedge. Seems like people just don't care for whatever reason. It's just doing, so ICP, it could run up all the way to $9.70, $9.82. I would caution that's chasing after a bump. So, and they could easily stop you out. The order books are tight. It's high risk lately today on everything, but it does look more bullish than bearish, right? 2-1 though to 982. But wow, that thing is on a tear. You ain't lying. And it bounced beautifully off 559. And it seems like they're doing something. Do they have privacy when ICP? If it has anything to do with privacy, that coin's going to move. ZK, which is like ZK Sync, ZK Snark, right? That has privacy built in. So ZK pumps because they're using that tech, aren't they? Ah, right. And Zcash, right? That's where the Z comes from. Oh, because it's privacy. Zcash, ZK Sync. This thing could moon. We could just get this revolution in privacy coins. And people say they want privacy. How crazy would this be? Where it's it's digital ID, it's a run to privacy. And privacy coins take off on a mass scale. It would be kind of interesting, right? That's a beautiful trend line on ZK. If anything could pump, ZK looks interesting. So there's opportunity in this market today as Bitcoin kind of collapses or goes sideways for the rest of the day. There is opportunity here. I like ZK right there. It looks interesting. Yeah. Again, I would never do what you see anyone do on YouTube. I'm going over the charts and looking at support and resistance. That is on a key resistance. I don't own any of this coin. It doesn't matter to me what happens to it. There's a bit of a cup and handle here on the stochastics RSI. On the RSI, stochastics RSI also pushing to the upside. Show you what I'm seeing here to be thorough, but you can see there's a cup and a handle here on the RSI ZK on my radar. 12 cent, 7 cent to 12 cent, right? And I'm just linking the, why it's connected to that technology. This is the Zcash, ZK Sync idea here. Okay? ZK. Wow, interesting. You guys are pretty spot on. I love y'all. Most relentless trading group I've ever seen in my life. You people are relentless. Like, you don't give up, you don't stop. So look, that is a beautiful, beautiful move. And look, we're just trading what we always trade, which what makes me money when I wake up in the morning, bullishly all the time. We just flip the charts upside down and do what we got to do. All right? This makes it easy to short, because if you psychologically don't do this, you won't be able to see the shorts like you can see the longs. But you have to remember, it's Alice in Wonderland. The charts are the same. They don't make any difference. All right? 87,000 is the target there. And that's the model. That's the model we play every day. And my channel wouldn't exist if the model didn't play out so well. It does. Or maybe not as long. But so the point is, the model, man, the model. 21-day moving average above the 200, above previous resistance as support. It all makes beautiful sense here. One more grab at 102.597 would be beautiful. Don't know if we're going to get blessed with that idea. We may actually going to stay sideways above 101.5. So we'll see. But there's the Bitcoin short trade. I like it, right? And that tells us we're going somewhere down to 86,000. And it says that we could get there pretty fast, which is, people don't realize how fast this stuff can happen. Hit the plus sign, hold shift, and go down, down, down. 2 days and 12 hours, it says we'll be there on a sharp decline. So get ready. 97.5 on Bookmap. The closest red is the likely scenario. I'm just giving you guys the sauce. I'm not trying to, force anything. I'm just giving you the sauce. There's still opportunity out here. Pay attention, but the altcoins will follow Ethereum. Ethereum looks like it's going lower. It doesn't look good to me. Yeah. So there you go. That's my update on the day here for the entire markets. Not looking amazing. Let me get back into the chat. Zen, please. Someone says they want to look at Zen. And I've been all over Zen. We haven't missed a beat on Zen. So I saw it in this little flag here, saw that it could break out, and it did that. Now Zen looks like it doesn't care about BTC, and it's flagging out on the 4-hour time frame. And you can see this, right? I mean, you can just see it. Go to the 1 hour even. Zen looks like it's going to rip. It's following Zcash. You understand? It's got 18 million coins. This one, I think, has 18 compared to 21 million. So this has a very small supply. So something's brewing here in alt land. And this thing looks like it could pump as Bitcoin goes sideways. And then eventually, And remember, Bitcoin tanked and Zcash pumped. Watch Zen here. If you can get a stop below that 200 moving average on Zen, that's what I would be looking for. You do whatever makes you happy. I like that. It gives me extra strength on the move. Wow, so I'm optimistic here that there's just still beautiful opportunity. Deep press and realize that there's money to be made every single day if I focus. Right? Nothing is guaranteed in life. Don't ever listen to people that do that. You got to get the education. You got to start small. You got to do it every single day. Trading is not something you'll just pick up and be amazing at. Some people claim that it happens at the beginning, but it will take a lot of time and effort. If you're willing to put it in, you can get it back. If you're willing to put it in, though, you got to grind. I mean, it's going to be a long grind. So, one day at a time, just like everything else, like chopping a tree down. Zen looks like it's about to erupt. Could kind of bring this even a little higher there and map it out like that, yeah. and we could see Zen do some damage. Focus on the liquidity, focus on the volume. And at the same time, Zen could just collapse with Bitcoin too. You never know. Be open-minded here. Stay strong. All right. What if I'm wrong? Let's go over what if I'm wrong. Let's talk about a bullish scenario here, just in case. Let's take a look at what could be if it's just, you know, what if this is a higher low on the 4-hour time frame? Bitcoin's digging in for a crazy, like, shoulder, head, right shoulder. This is a cup and handle, and we boom. We cross this neckline. The shoulder breaks out, and we end up right there at like 107.4. And then we kind of use this 104 as support. And we double bottom here on the 4-hour time frame. So this is your bullish case scenario today. You double bottom here somehow, some way. Looks unlikely to me, but it's possible. It looks unlikely, but it is possible. I'm short. You guys do what makes you happy. All right? I am never going to tell you what to do. I'm never going to go over your portfolio too. Our relationship is student to a mentor teacher. Like, I'm just teaching you, and we're going over the education every day. It's an educational channel, entertainment channel. We just want to continue to, you know, teach you guys how to live with discipline every day. I live with discipline. That's how I show up. Discipline creates a structure that creates freedom. I can't explain that, but it happens. First, it feels constricting. Like, I work out every day. I know I got to do it. I know it's not easy. I know I sweat. I know I'm working. I know I'm pushing. But when I do it, I feel better for the rest of the day. So I have a choice. Feel good for the rest of the day or skip the workout. And I got to make the right decision and be disciplined. I reap the rewards of the discipline. So either you feel the rewards of discipline or you feel the pain of regret. Which one do you want to pay? Which dividend do you want to pay? Because you're going to pay a dividend. Just wanted to share my gratitude for all the knowledge you teach. Thank you. Are you still holding Tao? Daily Tao asking, yeah, a little bit. Thank you, Sam, for calm thoughtfulness. Your mentoring is helping so many people. Thank you. New testimonial real. Can you check? WTI, yes, thank you. I did read one last night. It was amazing. Exactly. And someone says, can you check WTI? I went over what could make my call the other way, but, you know. Is that crude oil? Is that what you're asking about here, crude oil? Whenever looking at an asset, I want to look at it on the weekly. It's been getting sold off. Usually that means, you know, reversal. Came to support. Pull a Fibonacci. It's right above that 618 Fibonacci. You know, and remember that shoulder head, kind of right shoulder there. You want to see it. I'd love to see it break out and bounce off that 0.5 fib. That would be epic sauce there. Let's take a look at our 3-day chart. 3 days oversold in the stochastic. Seemed like it double bottom there too. Off of about 55.60. Kind of a descending triangle there though, you see? The daily still getting rejected by the 200. The 4 hours getting rejected by the 200. The 1 hour is playing games with the 200. Almost looked like it was about to follow Bitcoin and it kind of collapsed down. Tells me what? The DXYs. I will look for this. Looks like it's going to come down and possibly test 56 one more time. If not, it's going to make an inverted head and shoulder and make a bigger flag. That will be the head. Look for it to flatten out here. Shoulder, head, right shoulder, and then break out. The key is you want to see it get back above this yellow line on the 1 hour and then go for that 4 hour 200. And it does have some support right there at 58. It's a bounce here would be nice for me. And then I'd see it like that, right? Shout out to the live chat. Shout out to everybody out here. Didn't mean to go over. Everyone relax. You'll get your Christmas end of the year rally. It may be market makers who pump the market, but they will. I don't know, man. Yeah. Someone says Dash is about to blow by Zcash. You know, Dash too. Let's take a look at Dash. So I'm bullish on Dash. It's funny, I bought Dash years ago. I think I still hold some Dash somewhere, like from back in the day. I do. Dude, I still hold Dash. I just realized I have a pocket full of Dash. Dude, I bought Dash in 2017 at like, I don't know. I'm going to say 50 bucks or so. It went to $1,300, $1,400 a coin at one point. Dude, Dash is about to do damage. It looks like it could be a likely play here. Head all the way up to like $206. A gain of 76%. I would watch Dash very closely. It looks interesting. It is getting a little, you know, on the bigger time frames. Peace out, Club Scout. God bless, brother, to you. The wifey and the beautiful babies. God bless you, man. Love you too, brother. Thank you for everything, man. You've been cool. I appreciate you. You're the type of people I want to have in the group and I want to be around. Shout out to Vincenzo, man. Always keeping people upbeat. Keeping the younger guys in tow. Man, you're the man, dude. Thank you. And giving it with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of fun, you know, and not taking everything so seriously. You're my true New Yorker, brother. And that's why we got along immediately, because it was like being back home, right? Everybody, Dash looks interesting to me. Could be shoulder, head, right shoulder. Let's take a look at the bigger time frame. 4-hour sketch. I mean, you're on the 21 on the 4-hour. It's not amazing. You had some bearish divs. 12 hours not even that far from the 21. It could still kind of do some damage there. The daily's away, but not too bad. And it could make another bearish div. Yeah, I see a move to 200 possibly for Dash. I do own some Dash from back in the day. It's stashed in a Hardware wallet. Hardware there. Can we look at SAPIEN? Yeah, it's funny. That's like the fourth person to bring up SAPIEN. I've been looking at it like Homo sapien, right? Alien, SAPIEN. I mean, it just, I don't know, someone got their hands on it. I don't know what happened there. I can't, you know, again, above the 200 moving average makes flags. Look, the 15-minute touches the 21 on the flag. It looks a lot like GIGGLE before GIGGLE, you know. There's another flag there for SAPIEN. You never know, man. It says you can get to 70 cents if it continues. Very high risk, though. I don't know much about the coin. What does it do? What is it? Let's take a look here. What's the market cap? SAPIEN, $108 million. Pretty small market cap. 43 cents. Wow. Strong after massive pump. I know. Funds empowers D-size startups. I like D-size, to be honest. I think that's the next big wave. SAPIEN is an open protocol for sourcing verified human knowledge at scale. Its network of millions of contributors spans more than 100 countries, ranging from doctors and engineers to artists and students. Together, they produce high-quality AI training data, validated through SAPIEN's on-chain proof of quality. So it's a big AI play on base. I like it. Interesting. Funny, it doesn't take me a second to start speculating again. And they got it on Coinbase, Bitgate, right? Bitgate. Funny, they were together, right? SAPIEN. And of course, MEXC has everything that ever existed in the game. Best exchange in the game, MEXC. Don't listen to the FUD. It's a bunch of FUD is what it is. MEXC's been spot on since day one and taking way less fees than every other exchange while everyone else is just taking it. MEXC is super humble about it. That's kind of the one reason why they've been the best for so long. So, hey, you make your decisions. I just talk about the different ideas that are out here and the options that are available. SCRT, another privacy coin with heavy volume. Yeah, secret chain, right? I wonder if it's crazy. Anything now, it's a narrative. It's a narrative. This narrative is taking off. Look, this looks a lot like Zcash, right? And again, you know, I don't even need to trade these live. I could just trade these spot on MEXC. You see? Just trade these spot on MEXC and see where it goes. That gets tight, gets up to 31.9. I mean, that's a move too. So I would watch Secret on the radar very closely. So I believe we've identified the hot. I love this. You know, this reminds me of back in the day. I used to stay on the stream late, and the last 20 minutes of the stream was where I would find the most. I'd be online for 2 hours, but the last 20 minutes, and it always reminds me of life, man. When you really push yourself really hard, the gems come at the very end, like a workout. When is the most when you really tear the, like, right, when you work out and you go out for 40 minutes, that last 5 minutes, you're burning probably the more calories per minute than you were at the beginning of the workout. You're like in full steam. I love the workout comparisons. And I usually put this in altcoins, but this is what's hot today. Could these save the market? And this is why we're seeing maybe total 2 not as bad. And so people are selling Bitcoin for, for privacy coins. AERO is one of the strongest altcoins to Bitcoin right now. AERO too as well. Yeah, you know why? Well, we just showed you one of those coins, SAPIEN, was on base. People are using Aerodrome to buy it. Okay? So Aerodrome's getting some utility right now with this move, which kind of is keeping it above water at 83 cents. Okay? Yeah. Mute swap on base, privacy-based token. Looking bullish, I think. Thoughts? Thank you for saying it. Let's take a look at mute swap. Everyone keep going. Who's deep diving with me? Send me all the privacy coins you know right now. Everybody out there. Let's put our minds together. I'm going to stay a couple minutes later. Let's push this. Teach me. Let's push ourselves. Let's learn more. We have a moment right now to really push. Let's do that. Let's take advantage. Let's make it happen. These last 30 minutes of the stream are really, something's happening right now. We can feel it. We caught on to something. I see opportunity because I believe there was opportunity. I know there is. I can smell it. I can taste it. I can find it. We just got to push. Market's crashing. Fear will crash crypto liquidity and then it will fall back. This is the basic bullish macro. Yeah. And mute swap would be on Dex Screener, right? Wouldn't it be? Funny, mute swap. Like no one knows about it. Like stay mute, right? Yeah. I like it. I like the whole idea there. Where are you finding mute swap? Like where do you find that? It's on base. Mute swap by virtuals. Interesting. Down 15%. There's the contract. All right, there we go. Mute swap. Market cap 5 million. Wow, it went up hard too. From 202 to, oh my gosh, it did a 9x. So this one, this is now we're deep diving, everyone. Now we're really connecting the dots. Like, so this is how, what I do is you look at a narrative. You break down the narrative. You start finding out what coins are in the narrative, right? Then you start deep diving and researching the lower market cap coins and narratives. You find the different risks and rewards based on, in those different areas. It's professional speculation, right? And I'm posting these to the Bitcoin area because this is what's hot today. I want everyone to focus on what's hot. Keep your focus poised. And Bitcoin's holding 101,000, just chilling. Sideways. If Bitcoin goes sideways for the whole day, these coins could do. SAPIEN looks like it may even go up more. 60% possible damage there for SAPIEN. So interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, VPAY. It's funny you bring up VPAY. My buddy was on VPAY yesterday. My man Francis, right? And he said, you got the VPAY, boom. And VPAY, right? Look at that. Again, I'd have to see it consolidate now. Something like this. I'd like to watch that. VPAY on the radar now. So we've done some good research today, and last night, this morning, I was deep diving. To get this information is not easy. You don't snap your fingers and just get it. We'll look at token metrics too. They might be giving us what's hot. Here's my thesis: whales be whaling, but they have been cited in the privacy area. I think on ZK, you're 100% on point. Whales can spike that smaller cap, and the small whales are obviously doing this. Yeah. Yeah, ZF, he says ZK swap. Thank you. That one hasn't really done anything yet, but it's that's kind of cool because it's quiet, right? That may be the one right there because it hasn't really, no one's put it together just yet. Man, you deep divers are awesome. I love that we did this. Shout out to everyone that kicked it late with me. You guys you get rewarded for putting in extra effort every time. I do, you do, we all do. This is beautiful. I'm loving this right now. So we know the hottest 5 coins today in the entire market. Like, it's pretty obvious to me. And we have a pretty good lock on BTC, so yeah. It's unfortunate the detective voice almost always corrects him to them. DI needs to go, you're funny. Bitcoin going back up. Could this be high or low? Yeah. Someone says Dash is about to rip. Yeah. All right, everyone. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to jump on out of here for the day. May God bless each and every one of you who made this stream amazing. Thank you so much for the constant viewership, support, and love. It is definitely seen and known, and it makes us push every single time. Everyone, I love you. I appreciate you. I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much for an amazing live stream. If you're in the trading group, we do meet tonight around 8 p.m., all right, for the weekly screen share. I'm going to break down some major changes went down there, too, and we're going to break that down and talk about it. So I love you all. I appreciate you. I'll see you tonight. If you're in the trading group, I'll see you tomorrow. If you want to get into the weekly screen share, join the trading group. Go to cryptolifer.com to find out more. I love you all. God bless you. Yeah. Great stream, Sam. Thank you. Thank you, too. Have a good one. How dare you? I had pants on the whole time.